Good morning and welcome to Football League World TV. There's been some big news in the EFL over the last few days concerning Mick Beale at Queen's Park Rangers. He's been a man very much in demand. Wolves are submitting a formal approach for the QPR manager. However, he has rebuffed that and has committed to QPR for the rest of the season. This is what we're going to be talking about on this morning's debate show. My name is Sam Rourke, the chief editor of footballleagueworld.co.uk. I'm joined by my colleague, Ned Holmes, to run through all of it. Ned, how you getting on, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Sam. Obviously, always exciting on a Friday before a sort of full weekend of EFL fixtures, but particularly exciting to get to talk about Mick Beale sort of snubbing Wolves and deciding to stay in the Championship.
Yeah, a big turn of events for sure. Anyone watching this, whether a QPR fan or just a general EFL fan, get yourself in the comments. There might be some Wolves fans watching as well. We do want to hear from you. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. So get yourself in the live chat and send in your thoughts and opinions on the situation with Mick Beale. Right, let's get straight into it. So we saw on Wednesday that Mick Beale had a game in the evening. Queen's Park Rangers were taking on Cardiff. And that felt like the time when the sort of speculation was really mounting. It really felt like Mick Beale was going to take that Wolves job, just judging by the sort of reports that were emerging throughout the afternoon ahead of the game. Obviously, since then, we've learned that Mick Beale has turned down the Wolves job after lengthy talks with Les Ferdinand and the QPR chairman. I think, first of all, Ned, are you surprised with how this is all unfolded? Because I was. I felt very strongly that Mick Beale was going to take that job, but he hasn't. And what are your thoughts on it?
Well, in a weird way, I'm sort of surprised and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised in that, I've been in a fair few Mick Beale's press conferences this season and he gives off the air of someone that's in no huge rush to progress. He seems sort of confident that more opportunities will come, likely off the back of, I think he revealed that he was offered a manager's job 8 times during his time at Ibrox and turned that down. He's always given off the idea that he's in it. He's really enjoying the sort of the process at QPR and the project they're building. But I think the fact that he did nothing to calm fears of potential exit after Wednesday evening's in the press conference after Wednesday evening's game, I think he was really honest to say, he turned his phone off. He had no contact, that he was going to have to see himself. And at that point, when you felt like he was considering it, when you felt like, Wolves were really pushing, that he didn't come out and say, I'm staying at Loftus Road, suggested to me that he was likely to take the job. I mean, we were preparing a show on Football League World TV of who should be hired as his replacement. So at that point, I think it was a real surprise for him to see him stay put. But I do feel like he's the kind of guy, the kind of coach that I could imagine making this decision of all the Championship managers out there at the moment. And it's certainly a nice surprise for QPR fans and for us, everyone that follows the Championship.
Yeah, our QPR fan pundit Louis was really disheartened when the sort of Wolves interest came about, but ultimately said it was a massive relief that Mick Beale did commit his future to the Loftus Road outfit. They are, of course, top of the league right now. QPR flying in the Championship. Just how big of a boost, Ned, do you think this is for the morale around QPR, among the fan base, among the players, that Beale has sort of squashed all these rumours of a move to Wolves? They're top of the league right now. They're flying. It's quite a good place to be right now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got to think, first of all, for those players, what does it say to what he feels about what they can achieve this season? He's turned down a Premier League job, and I know they're struggling at the moment, but a squad with some real quality players in. You look at that midfield: Nunes, Moutinho, and I can't remember what the captain's name is now, but that sort of midfield, and the other players in that squad, to turn down that option to move to Molineux, a big club, big fan base, to stay at QPR, that just shows the faith he's got in the players. That can only be a good thing. I think, it would have been a massive blow. I think there's no denying that. There's plenty to be positive about. I wrote a piece suggesting exactly that they're top of the league, of course. It's a wide open championship. They've got a stronger squad than they have in a long time. The fans have really bought in this season. They've got young players like Sinclair Armstrong coming through. So reasons to be cheerful, even if he had left. But I think the job he's done has been really impressive. I was a huge fan, personally, of Mark Warburton. I felt he deserved more time after the progress the club had made on such little money, during his 3-year tenure. But there's no doubt that Beale's taken them to another level. It obviously remains to be seen if they can maintain that. But yeah, massive boost for the players, for the fans, of course, but also because I think I was a little uncertain and worried about where exactly they turn next. Obviously, as we say, top of the championship. That puts them in a really difficult position. If they're mid-table, then they can think, right, we'll go again with another young coach. But they may feel, right, we don't want to waste this opportunity, top of the championship, wide open division. So you could see them going to an experienced head. But and this is no offense meant to QPR, but would the likes of Chris Wilder, Sean Dyche, Scott Parker, are they really taking the QPR job financially and on the basis of the size of the clubs that they've been at and the fact that they want Premier League jobs? And then you look at younger up-and-coming managers, the likes of Rob Edwards, Anthony Barry at Chelsea, Carlos Corberán, obviously all exciting options. But again, we're talking people that will need a while to get their project going. We saw that with Corberán at Huddersfield. We saw that with Rob Edwards at Watford. So I think, on a number of levels, this is just such fantastic news for the R's and a massive boost in that, they don't have to sort of start again. And also those players have been told by no uncertain terms, he will have told them how much he believes in them, but this is real evidence how much he believes in them and their promotion hopes.
Yeah, absolutely. Any QPR fans watching this right now, get yourself in the live chat. Let us know your comments and your thoughts and opinions on the decision of Mick Beale to remain at Queen's Park Rangers on Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's an interesting tweet from QPR chairman Amit Bhatia yesterday, sort of citing that this was the biggest and most important decision that has happened at the club over the course of the last 15 years. A very bold claim from the chairman after the Mick Beale news. Do you think that sort of statement from the R's chairman goes to show just how much Mick Beale is sort of revered and admired at QPR and the sort of potential they see in him to elevate QPR as a club?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly does. I think first of all, we should say that Amit Bhatia, he certainly hasn't shied away from hyperbole in the past. We'll put it that way. But yeah, I mean, you'd imagine that Beale certainly has plenty of credit in the bank now with the club chiefs, staying put, turning down that Wolves job. And I think it remains to be seen whether that translates to sort of more money to spend or something like that in January. But you have to think that he's been promised something in those talks with Les Ferdinand, whether it's, that the project's going to be backed, that whatever happens, Beale will stay in charge for a certain amount of time, whether it's something like that. You do feel as though something has been done in those talks to sweeten things for him at Loftus Road. But it's hard not to appreciate just the job Beale has done. But I do feel Bhatia's comments probably likely to be linked to Wednesday night's big victory and the excitement there.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a comment come in on YouTube from Connor Bowditch. Keep the comments coming in. We want to hear from you all. Over the moon, Beale is cooking something. He certainly is. Results have been very impressive in recent weeks by QPR. They do, of course, as we said, sit top of the Sky Bet Championship table. Let's just talk about Mick Beale as a person. He strikes me as someone that lives very, very closely to his personal values and morals. In the sort of interview he did after he made that decision, he sort of said to the QPR fans that he lives by being, lives with integrity, lives with loyalty, didn't want to jump ship at the first opportunity of a chance. He's got a young squad. He wants to set an example. These are sort of qualities that should be admired, shouldn't they, really? Because we do often see when there is a chance of a Premier League job that managers will jump ship. They might not get that opportunity again. They may potentially feel like they may regret not moving on. But Beale has clear belief and confidence in his own abilities, judging by what he sort of said. I mean, what are your thoughts on that interview he gave to the QPR fans?
Yeah, I mean that interview he gave to the QPR fans, I think it's no surprise to me because I've been in his press conferences this season. That's the kind of guy he is. He's a straight talking guy. You know, he holds his hands up when necessary, and I think it's a really, really impressive and admirable decision to make. Really, I think you look at the Championship at the moment, the amount of sackings we've seen, as much as. Yeah, I mean, there's no loyalty either sides at times, and I think that's understandable. You can understand why managers will jump at a chance of a Premier League job because, you know, Championship clubs aren't going to, you know, are going to pull the trigger if they feel that's necessary. He's always talked about, you know, loyalty and you know, integrity and honesty, openness, building this. He's had an opportunity here to you know, show that he's not all talk, and he's shown that, and I think it's really admirable. It speaks to the character that he is, and I hope actually that it encourages more Championship managers to do the same in future, to back their own sort of ability. It's a dangerous, it's a big call to make, but I think it speaks to his belief in his own abilities, but also, as you say, you know, that integrity, that openness, and that loyalty that seems to be sort of bound into his character.
Yeah, I think it's also worth noting that he is only 42 years old still. He's got very much got time on his side in his management career. So sort of making any hasty decisions moving up a division right now, you know, it's not the end of the world, is it? You know, he's got a lot of time to make these sort of calls as offers potentially come his way. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on the situation with Mick Beale, QPR fans, Wolves fans. If you're watching this, let us know your thoughts on everything that's gone on over the last 24 hours. Let's just touch on one other element of this sort of story. Steven Gerrard, of course, sacked by Aston Villa last night after a disappointing 3-0 defeat at Craven Cottage against Fulham. Already, Mick Beale very, very much in the sort of bookies odds to be one of the favourites to take over. Him and Pochettino are the top two. Surely not, Ned, that Beale would move back to his former employers and take that job. What are your thoughts on any potential links? I mean, there are no concrete links. We are just going off bookmakers' odds, but he is the second favourite right now. Could you see that materialising at all?
No, I don't think that's. I think, you know, off the back of what we've seen, it would be. I think it would go, as we've been talking about his character. It'd go, you know, pretty staunchy against his character, but equally, you know, I don't see the Aston Villa job as a better job than the Wolves job. I don't see why. He's obviously got the links to Villa, but, you know, it's not like his links to Villa. I don't think they go beyond that spell with Gerrard, who's gone now. So I don't see much in this. I mean, I don't see Mauricio Pochettino going there either. But yeah, I don't see much in this, I have to say. I think we're likely to see Beale I think we're likely to see him go through, stick it out for the rest of the season at least, unless obviously a huge job came up. But yeah, I mean, I don't think QPR fans have to be worried about the Aston Villa job.
No, it would be an incredibly crazy turn of events if we did indeed move to Villa Park. Another comment come in from the first Past the Post podcast. Louis here. Genuinely believe we could challenge for autos if Beale gets backed again in January. The league is so open this season, in my opinion. I totally agree on that last statement. The Championship is wide open this year. You only have to look at the league table and see the sort of the points differences between each of the sides right now. Ned, do you agree with this statement from Louis? Do you think an automatic promotion push is very much on the cards for Beale? You know, they are top of the table and looking good right now. There's a long way to go, though. What are your thoughts on Beale and a QPR promotion push?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't see why not. You look at, you know, in Seny Dieng, they've got a sort of a Premier Championship keeper, really. Those four centre backs, you know, Dickey, Dunn, Clark, Salter, Balogun, phenomenal options there. Perhaps a little bit short, you know, at left back beyond Kenneth Parle, but him and Laird particularly, I know he's injured at the moment, look fantastic first choice. And Kakai stood up recently, some brilliant midfield options, and then you move forward. Lyndon Dykes, I always hoped he'd come back to goal scoring form just because he worked so hard off the ball. He's found that now. And then you've got, you know, Ilias Chair and Chris Willock, two two of my favourite players in the Championship. And as Louis says, I mean, you just have to look at the Championship at the moment. 10 points between 1st and 17th, 15 teams with 20 plus points. It's so open. And I think beyond Burnley, and until recently I would have said Sheffield United, I don't see a really standout quality side at the moment. I don't see anyone that's putting their head above the parapet and has really sort of shown themselves as real favourites. I think Burnley are going to be there and thereabouts. I've got them to go up, but there's no reason it can't be QPR. As Louis says, I think a strong January window would be important. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see, I think we'll see QPR emerge as a fantastic landing spot for a couple more loanees. Actually, you just have to look at the success that Laird and Erogbonam have had already to see that, if they're still battling near the top of the Championship, that's going to be a good way to sort of reinforce and add a bit more quality to that squad. And I suspect that Les Ferdinand has promised Mick Beale that he'll get a bit of backing in that January window. If they can capitalise on this morale boost at the moment and finish strongly before the World Cup break, they're going to be in a fantastic position. There's absolutely no reason why QPR can't be pushing for the top two. Yeah, certainly going well at the moment. So we shall see with regards to Queen's Park Rangers. That's pretty much our look at Mick Beale done. Just a final sort of call to get any comments in ahead of the show finishing. What are your thoughts on Mick Beale's situation? So we're just going to round off the show, Ned, by asking one more question. In your personal opinion, do you think Mick Beale has made the right decision here to snub Wolves and stay at QPR? I mean, it's a tough one because, you look, I think with players, we always say sort of, it's a risk to turn down that first offer of a big move because you never know what's around the corner, a drop in form, an injury. Obviously, injuries don't really apply to managers in that sense. But an injury crisis at the club could, leave and a couple of January exits. Suddenly the R's, miss out dramatically. Beale maybe gets dismissed. And where does that leave his reputation? I don't think that's going to happen. But it's a risk, certainly. I think for me, he's made the right call. You look how open the Championship is this season. You look how strong the R's are. And as you touched upon, this is still his first job. He's 42 years old. He's got that, he's got that confidence boost of being offered a manager's job 8 times during his time at Rangers, as he's revealed. More chances are going to come. He's backing his own ability. And I think, before he was appointed at QPR, when he was linked with Championship jobs, we heard time and time again how highly rated he is as a coach. We've been able to see that sort of evidence of that at QPR already. So I think he's backing himself to either earn a chance at a bigger job in the future, and I think that will come, or take the R's to the top flight. And I think they've got a fantastic job of doing that this season. So yeah, I mean, I think I can't see beyond, an absolute, real disaster, which I can't see happening. I think this is going to turn out to be the right call. And it's worth remembering as well, I talked up the Wolves squad, but they're in a difficult position at the moment. That's not a job that you can step into and think, oh, Mick Beale's definitely going to take Wolves into the top half of the Premier League. So I think with all those sort of factors guaranteed, Mick Beale's made the right call, a hugely courageous call, one he deserves a lot of credit for. I think we didn't really touch upon it, but, he spoke a lot about the promises he'd made to players, to their wives, to their parents, in order to bring them to the club in the summer, that he wanted to follow through on that. But yeah, all factors considered, in my eyes, and perhaps the biased eyes of someone that's going to be watching QPR a lot this season, as a journalist and someone that's a big fan of the Championship, he's made the right call. Well, there we go. Do you agree with Ned? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Mick Beale has made the right decision to snub Wolves and remain as Queen's Park Rangers manager? Get yourself in the comments. Right, well, that's it from myself and Ned this morning as we took a look at Mick Beale and his situation as he remains QPR boss. That's not it, though, from Football League World TV today. At 12 o'clock, we're going to be taking a big look
at the big derby coming up this weekend as Watford take on Luton Town. The first time these two have met in front of fans since 2006. It should be a really intriguing encounter. Watford obviously coming into this in very poor form. Luton completely the opposite. They are looking good right now. Right, well, if you are watching this on repeat on YouTube, please do stick a like in below this video and subscribe to Football League World TV. We've got so many more exciting club shows coming over the course of the next few weeks / months. So make sure you stay tuned to that all. But from myself and Ned this morning, we shall see you next time.